your season or occupation. It's time to send in your application.
Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm kind of very excited for this video because for a while I've been wanting to talk about Noel Kahn. Whenever I do my other videos researching other things to do with A or Alison or Sarah Harvey or Mona, whatever, for some reason Noel always wants to be involved, and I kind of have a grudge with Noel because I think Noel is the most significant, irrelevant character on the show because he's just always part of something. I'll explain what I think a bit later on as to why the writers do this, but I feel it's very lackluster most of the time, and I think his character ultimately just becomes something that the writers use as a thing to fix the plot, if that makes any sense. Noel is a typical charming kind of high school jock. I think he's in his high school football team as well, I think. I'm just gonna read here because this is his character page. So his talents include playing the guitar, torture, yeah, manipulation, and murder. Now, I really like the contrast between those things. We've got lovely playing the guitar, really good talent. I want to learn guitar one day. Then we've got murder. Make of that what you will. So his interests include getting what he wants, partying, and get this, torturing the liars. The first kind of portrayals we get of Noel is that he's a bit of a player. In season 1, I think he dates Aria for a little bit, or he tells her that he really likes her. But then he eventually finds out that Aria and Ezra are having a relationship. And I will give this to Noel. He is kind of one of the only characters that calls out this relationship and kind of threatens Ezra about it. So I'll give him that. However, he does call this relationship out and threaten this relationship to benefit himself. So maybe I won't give it to him. I'm undecided. We see him then, the scene where Hannah has to eat all of those cupcakes because A is blackmailing her. He's kind of taunting her about it and laughing at her. And this is the first time that I really decided right, I really don't like this guy. So then during season 2, he ends up dating Mona, but they break up, and I think he does something bad to end the relationship because Mona is really heartbroken about it. I love Mona, so I'm gonna back her all the way. So yeah, Mona did nothing wrong, guys. And then also after he broke up with Mona, he starts dating Jenna. So he really makes his way around Rosewood, around the town. Do you know what I mean? So this is where things start getting a bit why is this man getting involved? So it is revealed during the season 4 finale, I believe it is, where Alison reveals that she is alive, that Noel has known for a while that Alison was alive, and he has in fact been helping Alison, hiding and transporting to where she wants to go. This is the first time I really question, he gets involved in really big plot lines, but I'm kind of why are you getting involved here? You're kind of irrelevant most of the time. So to be planted in these really big storylines, it's just a bit weird to me. So Alison was blackmailing Noel because there was a scene where he shoved a girl down the stairs at a UPenn party, and she was blackmailing him with that. But that to me is really weak because so many people were at that party, and I don't think it's clear that Noel did push the girl down the stairs. So even if Alison came out with it, he could have just denied it, and I think he would have been fine. So I do think that was a bit of a weak thing for the writers to include, because like, what was the reason for that? What was the reason for that? Noel is the one who arranges for the Liars and Alison to meet for the first time since she went missing on that night. Once again, being included in a really big story. Why? We don't... Well, it's a bit iffy. We do know, but we don't know. Alison then reveals to the girls that he got Noel to break into Hannah's house because she needed Hannah's mum to stop questioning what had happened to Alison, because Alison did this whole thing where she like faked being kidnapped by this guy, and like no one was really believing her, so she had to get Noel to break into Hannah's house to make it more what's the word, reliable, trustworthy, that type of thing. Noel then kind of goes a bit silent for a while, which is like the main issue, which I'm going to talk about. And he then appears in season 7, and he appears in an episode called Along Comes Mary. So he meets up with Sarah and Jenna, and they hitch a plan because Cece had left behind a small fortune and they all wanted to find it. However, Noel was going to keep the money for himself. So therefore, he then goes to kill Sarah Harvey. So he kills Sarah because Sarah found out that Noel was going to keep the money for himself and he didn't want that getting out. So he kills her. Once again, that's quite an important part of the story, and he's just involved for some reason. In the episode titled The Wrath of Kahn, the Liars find a flash drive, and they actually find out, get this, Noel, throughout the entire show post Mona's reveal, was helping Cece build the dollhouse, and then eventually helped Cece take the girls and torture the girls in the dollhouse. See, this is my main issue here, because why would Noel willingly do this? He has no motive to go for the girls or to attack the girls. And these are really important storylines. The dollhouse is a massive part of the show. So to have him involved in this when we have no clear motive is ridiculous. Like, what is Noel doing? My main issue with this, and I understand he has to like change his personality and stuff, but at the start of the show he's really nice to the girls. He doesn't really have an issue with them, and then eventually a switch will flip and he's really mean and he's like a really big bully. But then after that he goes back to being nice, and it's this same repetitive thing over and over again. And I understand he has to do it to hide, you know, that he's helping these people and stuff, but it really, really does get quite annoying. Hannah, at this point, once they discover the flash drive, they think that he's Uber A, AD, whatever it was called. She knocks him out and abducts him, basically. So in the episode The Darkest Night, which is season 7, Noel is being captured by Hannah. He's being kind of, you know, what A did to Hannah by kidnapping Hannah. However, he does escape. Didn't really last long, Hannah, babe. I understand what you're trying to do, but it didn't really last long, did it, my love? And this is when his motive kind of develops, and he wants to get back at the Liars because they've abducted him. There's a scene that takes place in a blind house, I think it is, where Jenna is walking around the house with a gun and she's like, I'm just going to shoot the Liars. Noel is also with her, and there's a bit of an altercation with Emily and Hannah. During the struggle, this is kind of gross, guys, they push Noel to the floor and Noel ends up slicing his head off with an axe. Yeah, that's how he dies. That's like, honestly, and the rolls down the stairs. Oh, guys, That was like something I truly laughed. The issue for me regarding Noel is that I feel like his purpose was to show up whenever the show needed a temporary villain to end a story or to fill in a story, purely just to add some drama to the show rather than actually just doing it for it to make sense. Whenever it was revealed that Noel would be involved in these things, I would roll my eyes every time because there's no reason for him to be involved in all of these things. The motives they give for everything are always so weak and so that doesn't, do you know what I mean? They really kind of drag it out because he was helping Alison when she was missing, but then he was helping Cece build the dollhouse. They really kind of drag his character out to be just this kind of helper who will be here to fill in these gaps when the writers are like, we need to think of someone right now. It really just felt like the writers just wanted him for plot convenience rather than let's make this make sense. Let's give him a really good motive. Let's give him a really good story. But instead it was Noel was doing this. What do you mean Noel was torturing the girls? What do you mean? And this is even further kind of emphasized by the fact that he would just disappear for random chunks of time. Just go for a few seasons and randomly comes back. And I think that's another reason why this is such a big issue, because he disappears, appears again, gets revealed to be actually a really big part of the dollhouse, disappears again. So he's not intended to be a villain then. He's just intended to be a character to fill these holes. Why and how did Noel despise the girls that much to build the dollhouse, but to also help torture the girls in the dollhouse? Where did that come from? And why was that a thing? Yeah, Cece could have been blackmailing him, but blackmailing him for what? Do you know what I mean? And there's no amount of money in the world someone could offer me to build a secret underground dollhouse and then to torture people that I've known for the majority of my life. Some that I've even had romantic interest in. It doesn't make any sense. He was there purely to just kind of fit the space as a shady character. Do you remember when there was the whole Lucas thing where people thought Lucas was A, and there's that whole scene on the boat where they both fall in the water and we think that he's drowned? He's a character like that, where he doesn't actually have much to do. He doesn't actually have ill intentions, but he will be dressed up as this shady character purely to just maybe throw audiences off, or just to add some mystery to the show, or just trying to trick the audience into being I'm smarter than you type of thing. They also just ruined his character because I think they wanted Ezra to be the main love interest for Arya. I think it would have been cool to keep the Noel and Arya relationship, because when it was a thing, it was kind of really nice actually. But I think they had to ruin Noel's character to fit in Ezra. In the books, Noel is a really good character, and I think he actually ends up with Arya. I've not finished the books yet, so can't say for sure. But I think that's how that relationship ends. They go throughout the entire book series. And he's a really nice character, has a really good bond with the girls and with Alison. It's interesting how the books decided to go against that, purely to fit in Ezra. I think he might have wanted a hero complex with Alison and helping Alison when she was missing and giving her somewhere to stay and stuff like that. But then I think it just totally changed into something else purely just to fit the plot. That's really all I have to say on Noel's character. He's very just confusing to me still. And it's annoying that the writers decided to only use him purely as a temporary fill-in whenever they needed someone to be on the A team, or someone to be helping Alison, or someone to, I don't know, be involved with Jenna or whatever, they were like, right, Noel, where are you? Sorry guys, my SD card got full, so if the camera position has changed, I apologize. Anyway, please let me know what you think about Noel, because I just think he's a really confusing character in terms of like he's just always there for like no reason. Do you know what I mean? But anyway, make sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.
Pick your season or argue.